Hi everyone, good evening. How are you all doing today? Welcome to day 12 of the start to finish. And we are going to talk about something that I got the idea from a book. And if you're on TikTok, you've been getting word weaponized incompetence, weaponized incompetence, weaponized incompetence. What does it mean? And how does it relate to what we're discussing today? So today's conversation is on strategic incompetence. But let's do a little bit of flashback and walk down memory lane. We have started this series 12 days ago to talk about how we could help people finish what they've started, how we could ensure that people are intentional about completing tasks that they've started. Now, we've identified a couple of things. The first thing we identified is that someone that is stuck is somebody that is always starting projects and just leaves them midway. So it's not just someone that started a project once and then got stuck midway. No, but it's something that is chronic, something that is consistent, something that has become part and parcel of you. So these are goals that you start, or people that start goals. You start the end of the start of the year excited about goals. So the motivation is there, the desire to do well is there. However, when it comes to implementing consistently, you get stuck. You just can't move forward. So there's a lot of procrastination, bad time management, and a couple of other things we've discussed in the past. We identified a couple of things. First, work is seen as a chore, and no one likes chores really. If we could avoid doing chores, we will. So once you see something as a chore, you reject it. We also said this could also be as a result of childhood. We don't want to use the word trauma, but childhood relationship with work, where you see work as a punishment. So work is seen as a chore, work is seen as a punishment. In order to achieve better results, we need to have proper work ethics and have a positive attitude to work. Yesterday's conversation was on mindset. We talked about the fact that you need to have a mindset that is positive. You need to have a mindset that is growth based and not a fixed mindset. There are several types of mindsets you could have, but the fixed mindset says, this is the way I am, I cannot change. A growth mindset sees the opportunity for change, opportunity for growth, and embraces and takes those opportunities. As usual, I would like to hear from you. So if my audio is great, please let me know. So I know I'm not speaking to myself, but my name is DK Jonah. I wear many hats. I'm a multi-potentialite. I love talking about productivity, looking at productivity tools, and improving the way to get things done. This could be as a result, or this rather is as a result of my own experience with getting things done, having had to leave school and now do what I do full time. So that's a little bit about me. Apart from that, I'm a brand strategist, a social media manager, and an overall strategic individual when it comes to the online space. So that's a lot about me. Now, strategic incompetence. If you spend 5 minutes on Twitter, on TikTok, one thing you will keep hearing is weaponized incompetence. And the male gender is accused of using it, especially in families. We say, oh, men use this weaponized incompetence in order to get away from doing things. So people would rather do like they don't know how to do certain things in order to avoid doing them. In order for you to avoid delegating work to them, they just act like they can't do it. So when it comes to achieving it, remember, it is defined by you. Bless me. When it comes to achieving it, how do we guide you to the finish line and to make sure you finish what you started? And then I'm talking about incompetence. What does it mean to be incompetent? And why are we saying you should take a strategic approach to incompetence? Human nature, we always want to do good. We want to be the best. We want to ensure that we do every single thing well. However, it is impossible to do every single thing properly. You're going to be neglecting one area and then you're going to be triumphant in others. If you spread yourself too thin, you can't do anything at all. So that's where strategic incompetence comes in. And it's a strategy. It refers to the deliberate decision to appear or act incompetent in certain areas or tasks, often for strategic reasons to achieve specific outcomes. Um, John, Eckhoff calls it choosing where to bomb at. I call this such strategic incompetence, but he calls it choosing what to bomb at, choosing what not to be good at, choosing what not to be the best at, choosing what not to be involved at. I can't know all the models, I can't know all the makeup tips, I can't know everything about fashion, I can't know everything about football. Then I am now an expert in my field. It's impossible to thrive and be excellent in every area. So that's where strategic incompetence comes in. And it's simply challenging the convention and notion that competence and expertise in every single thing are essential for success. And when we embrace strategic incompetence, this is what happens. You could prioritize your energy, your time, and resources on tasks or areas where you can excel or provide the most value. And I'll use myself as an example. I am really struggling with strategic incompetence when it comes to work because I want to do everything. I want to be in every way. And since April, I've taken a step back, and it's been one of the most difficult things that I have done since I became a creative strategically and an online creative. But I'm trying an alternative perspective on productivity and efficiency. And the focus is on leveraging my strengths and delegating or collaborating in areas of my weakness. So, why do I want to leverage my strength only? Am I saying that the things I'm not good at, I will just ignore them completely? No, that's why we're being strategic about it. I want you to take your time to choose. You could decide to remember we told you to write all your habits, your tasks, and everything you do. Let's take it a step further from doing that. Let us look at other things. Let us choose the way to get things done. Let us ensure that we are doing what we need to do when we need to do it. So, what are the pros of strategic incompetence? The truth is, it encourages delegation and collaboration, especially if you choose the right people. Now, I'm part of a master class. I'm also a mentor to people. So I mentor certain people. I'm part of a master class. I'm a coach to others. I'm a boss of others. So I wear different hats. And in these different hats that I wear, I am playing different roles. Everyone knows I like planning and organizing. So they kind of depend on me for that. But sometimes, especially when it comes to certain organizations that I am volunteering, I am intentionally taking a step back so that I don't have to be great at everything that I have to do, especially when it comes to planning or being strategic. Now, what that happens when I allow others and I delegate work to others, it now allows me to focus on the work itself rather than working on the business. I can work on other things. It allows others to contribute their expertise because strategic incompetence can increase opportunities for others to shine, to foster a sense of teamwork and shared responsibility. So, with my team, it's about everything not coming from me, but rather the team members playing a role and doing one thing or the other. Yes, it fosters a sense of shared responsibility because by recognizing my limitations and areas I'm seeking help from, we can build stronger relationships and promote a supportive environment. That's one thing that happens. It creates opportunities for learning and growth. It encourages individuals to seek help and guidance. Okay, when it comes to web design, when it comes to ads, when it comes to writing copy that converts, I seek guidance. So I've chosen that, okay, I will not go and take 10 courses where I can focus on what I need to do. So I'll speak with people like Tobechuku, I'll speak with people like Emmett that are copywriters. And I'm like, okay, this is an area that I struggle. I need your help with writing the copy. And by doing that, I am able to focus on other things and I can also help them. So it gives me an opportunity to learn from them, from the way they write and grow. It also fosters an environment or a culture of continuous learning and growth, not just for me, but for my people, because now they see that, oh, I can come to them for certain things. And it allows me to embrace a growth mindset because there are some challenges that I will take heads on. There are some challenges that I will accept my limitations because I have limited knowledge, I have limited experience when it comes to certain areas of marketing, especially when it comes to Google Ads and something. Why I have people like Toby Chuku that are excellent when it comes to this. When it comes to websites, yes, I can design a website, but I will still collaborate with other people to ensure that the project is successful. So it creates opportunities for growth for me. And it allows me to succeed at what matters. Now, there's a phrase I don't work on the business all the time. So I'm going to paraphrase it. But sometimes we're working on the business so much that we don't get to do the work that the business is meant to do. So we're doing the admin stuff, we're doing every single thing. And by doing that, I can't focus on the strategic, creative aspect. So, in order for us to grow, in order for me to succeed at what matters for me, I have to choose the areas that I want to bomb. And I've chosen a couple of areas that I want to bomb. Yes, it's not the what you come across every day, but it's something that I have to look at now. And I'll use myself as an example this time. Because I decided to be dependent on the team. Now, these are the cons of strategic incompetence. I am dependent on them. I can't make any move. So now this is 18 days to the launch of my next program, and I don't have a website. I don't have copy. I don't have anything as at this time that I'm speaking to you. And that makes it difficult for me because now there's this over reliance on others. So yes, it has its pros where it allows me focus on certain things and allows me delegate, but then having to have oversight is something that I struggle with because once I step in, I want to take over, and that's something I am learning. So leadership is something that I am learning more and more about daily. Is the risk of becoming complacent and stagnant. Luckily enough for me, this is not happening when it comes to the work that I do. But in certain areas, when it comes to doing makeup, for instance, I've chosen to bomb when it comes to that. And what I've realized is from 2012 to date, my makeup skills have gone down line the line. And no longer as good as before because I remember the first time Edie did my makeup, I was like, oh, I'm no longer doing this. It also impacts your decision making and problem solving abilities. So, lack of expertise or knowledge can lead to suboptimal choices because we have to rely on others for critical decision making and can result in less informed or bad decisions. And that's what happens when you are dependent on others. So there has to be a balance. So we'll talk about how you can find a balance and how you can make it work for you. Difficulty in taking initiative or making independent decisions. Now, when you are chosen to collaborate, to delegate, and do certain things, there's a tendency for you to be over dependent on these people. There's a tendency for you to struggle when it comes to making decisions, especially if you come from a large family that you have to ask questions all the time. Moving on your own and doing certain things on your own could prove difficult. So, yes, although it has its advantages, this is one major disadvantage. Perception and reputation implication. Now, this was one that I learned about recently. See, others hearing that I have decided to bomb in certain areas may not see it as a great thing. They may see it as a weakness. They may see it as a lack of dedication. They may see it as laziness, and it could potentially affect one's reputation. It could impact your credibility when you voice things out that I've chosen to be incompetent in certain area. That's not a word most people want to hear. In certain contexts or industry, it may be perceived as it may hinder your career growth. So depending on who you're speaking to, you can make your choice. You don't need to have that meeting with everyone to say, oh, I have decided. No, it's a decision you're making for yourself. Remember what we always say, that you're having a conversation with one person, that's you. You're having that conversation in order to bring the best parts of your skills and ideas and leverage everything that you have. And you're doing it to please nobody but yourself. So you don't need to announce it to the whole world. But when it comes to strategic incompetence and competence, competence is important. Whenever you're doing anything, it's always good to give it your best. We're not saying you should be lazy, but you have to understand that there are certain times and places that you could decide to say, you know what, it is okay for me not to be perfect in this area, and consciously delegate certain things to others. You have to look at context. Context matters. You have to realize that every situation is different. So it could be effective in one area and it would not be effective in another. So it's crucial for achieving a balanced approach for you to understand that context matters, and when you look at the context, you look at the situations, you look at every single thing before you choose where to bomb. And when I have decided not to be the best when it comes to ads, that doesn't mean I won't learn how to do it. So there has to be a need for continued growth, personal growth. and development alongside strategic incompetence. So, strategic incompetence should not be mistaken as laziness. Choosing what to bomb at should not be mistaken as laziness, but rather it's you being intentional, you being deliberate about where you will focus your time, your energy, and your resources. It can offer its advantages, and if you maintain a growth mindset and you do it purely for personal growth reasons and development, because you only have 24 hours a day, 168 hours in a week. You can't know every single thing. Now, you have to recognize the importance of continually expanding your skills and knowledge base because it ensures your long term success and adaptability. We talk about adaptability and flexibility a lot. However, some of us are stuck in our ways. We have a best fit a practice approach, or best fit approach rather than a best practice approach. We don't think about what the best practice is for us. We hear about something and we think that we should take it hook, eye, and sinker, and we shouldn't all the time. So, now that we've identified the fact that there has to be balance, you have to choose what to bomb at. You can't do everything well, but you have to choose the areas that. And I'll share my list with you, like I said. I'm not going to just share my list, I'm going to share my list, and I would also share John Acuff's list. He has a book called Finish, and it's giving yourself the gift of done. And it says something about strategic incompetence, or what he chooses to call choose what to bomb at. And I want to read something from the book briefly. It says someone like him is not good when it comes to doing yard work. So that's something he chose to bomb at and chose to outsource. So it's not like he doesn't know how to do it, but it will take him forever to get it done. So sometimes he might not care about his yard, but there are other people that will want their yards and their compounds to look fantastic. They want to mow the lawn by themselves and every single thing. But you can't do everything and then have time for what's important. So he said perfectionism is a lie. He says you can do it all. I am here to tell you that you cannot. You know that you know that deep down, but there's still a part of you that is rejecting it. So there's a part of you that is rejecting the fact that you can't do everything and do everything well. So he said certain things have to do. There are two options now. Attempt more than is humanly possible and fail, or choose what to bomb at and succeed at a goal that matters. So what we're talking about is doing what matters. So you have to choose what to bombat to succeed at goals that matter. We talk about defining what matters, designing what matters, and delivering what matters. That's our personal productivity system. So, what does it start with? It starts with setting clear boundaries and expectations with people around you. And this is vital. If you understand that, yes, there's this shame that comes with saying, I don't want to do certain things. And remember when I first read this book, was it 2014? There was this shame on me saying, hey, I'm not really good. I don't want. No, it's a strategic decision that you're making. And you need to embrace it for yourself, not for any other person. For other people, they may have one reason or the other while they are not doing certain things. But this is my own list. I said, okay, when it comes to the following things, I'm good to admit that I'm not going to try and be perfect when it comes to these things. Makeup, I'm not going to be perfect at it. Coding, never. Snapchat, no. WhatsApp, no. Emails, I respond to emails. I don't not responding to emails immediately and responding to Snapchat immediately has saved me a lot because rather than being on solving someone else's to-do list, I am doing what I want to do. So I want to see your own list. I don't have to know all the TV shows. I don't have to watch Insecure. I don't have to know every single thing happened in 90 Day Fiance. That's a decision that I made. Reality TV, I can catch up with a glimpse of it there, but I don't need to go in depth into it. Parties, no. Braiding my hair, no. Editing with the Adobe family. Now, as someone that is a Canva editor, I've chosen not to learn how to edit with the Adobe family. Why am I making this list of things that I know that I am not going to be the best at? So that I can succeed in other areas by trying to force myself to be great at every single thing. I'm not going to be good at any. And that's a decision that I made. So we set clear boundaries, we communicate and to ensure smooth collaboration and support. Then you continually assess and reassess which areas strategic incompetence can be applied. So, by regularly evaluating tasks, projects, and responsibilities to identify opportunities for delegation or collaboration, which is something that I did in April to say, okay, when it comes to doing the copy, doing this, I want you guys to help me focus on that. It gave me the flexibility and the ability to go for other classes that matter to me. It made me focus on what was important. And I think it's going to be the best course that I have ever created. It's a 1 day workshop I'm creating, but doing these little things daily helped build me up completely. Yes, I'm flexible and willing to adapt strategic incompetence in areas that are important, but context matters. Strategic incompetence is not laziness, it's not saying goodbye to work. Rather, it can foster delegation, collaboration, learning, and reduce stress. But it carries a risk of dependency and limited growth opportunities and potential perception challenges from others. So, my own encouragement is this: find a balanced approach that supports personal productivity, personal growth, and your own productivity for your team. If you look at a balanced approach, it gets things done for you better. If you leverage strategic incompetence where appropriate, while continuing to develop competencies and skills, you will be the best version of yourself. Like John Acuff said, you can't do everything and do everything well. You're going to be good at certain things, you're going to suck at certain things. Some people decide that, oh, I'm not going to cook, I'm going to outsource cooking, I'm not going to clean, I'm going to outsource cleaning because that takes too much time from me. So by saving time, even if I'm paying somebody, I'm using that time to make money or spend quality time with my children. Sometimes we realize that we are busy being busy, but we are becoming incompetent in the areas that we shouldn't be because we've decided to be competent and the best in areas that we're actually struggling with. There are areas in your life that matter. It could be family, it could be relationship, it could be something or the other. But one thing you have to realize is this: you determine what's best next, you determine the next step. Context matters. So when it comes to strategic incompetence, the context you are playing in matters. So my task for you today is simple: make your list. What are you going to choose to bomb at? What are you going to choose to suck at? What are you going to choose not to be the best at? It's a choice you have to make, and making that choice could make the difference for you. Strategic incompetence meant making peace with these things. M- Will they change over time? Maybe I might be all about Snapchat in the future. Maybe other things will change. For now, in order for me to go in on all in what matters, I have to choose to suck at a few. In some cases, choosing to ignore something will force you to come up with a system. Like I came up with a system that I check my emails at certain times. So choosing to suck at certain things makes you come up with a system. In order to ignore it and not pay attention to it, you have to come up with a strategy. That's why we said strategy, not shame. So we're not just going to say, I'm not going to be good at this and then build up. No, we're coming up with a strategic approach to doing this. The things you choose to bomb at doesn't have to be massive or permanent. That's another thing. So you could choose to bomb at cleaning for 3 months because you want to work on a project. You could choose to excel later in that area later. But for now, you say, oh, I have an exam, I have to focus. This is something that I'm doing, but it's not permanent. But don't ignore yourself, don't ignore your health, don't ignore your family. What should you choose to bomb at? It's to be incompetent at strategically. It depends on you. It's up to you. But think about it in a way, and I love this way that John put it. He said, think about it like traffic lights. Some activities are green lights, they push you forward and make it easier to hit your goal. Making a week's worth of lunches might take time, but it will help you with your health goals. Other activities are red lights. And red lights, they stop you from making progress and delay you. Going out late at night with friends might be fun, but it will tempt you to make terrible decisions. That's a red light. That's a red light activity that slows your plan to lose weight. Spend a few minutes thinking through your day and label a couple of items you are giving time to. For example, if I am choosing not to take breaks, that's a red light because I know that I have to rest. So, what are the things that you will call red light, green light, and amber light in your life? Because you need to pay attention to yourself. No one is going to make this decision for you. If you can't think of something to bomb, I will give you a head start. You said social media. For me, it should be TikTok, because TikTok, my goodness, that's an amazing app. See, you don't need to know all the updates. You don't need to do it. If you can't stop, simplify. You don't need to let go completely. If you can't stop it, simplify it. Simplify it like I did when it comes to what I do. So make a list of 3 things you want to bomb at during your goal: the red lights and the green lights. For time drains, things that drain your energy and drain your time, figure out a way you could simplify them. So you could simplify them like I did by delegating. Write down in a secret place no one will see 3 relationships you might need to pause in order to be the best version of yourself. So those were the tasks that were given by John in this chapter. And for me, it's fantastic because realizing that it has to be strategic was one of the best things that could happen to me. Because the first time I saw choose what to bomb, choose what you will not be good at, my reaction was, I'm Nigerian, we're good at everything. I'm a Christian, I'm good at everything. But I have 24 hours, and the way I have been created is the way I have been created. For example, when it comes to public speaking, something that I would have bombed at if I had not chosen to excel in it and start practicing regularly like I am doing now. It's something I am working on. But there are other people doing other things. What are the things you want to excel at? What are the things you want to bomb? You've chosen to be incompetent at. So your competence list and your incompetence list. Those are 2 lists I would like to see from people. But that brings me to the end of today's conversation. Wasn't feeling 100%, but I'm glad I did this. But thank you so much for joining me today. And tomorrow we meet again at 9 p.m. Stay blessed. Bye.